go ahead and call this meeting to order. First thing on the agenda is we're going to invite Mrs. Rodman up here from Sugar Grove Elementary.
Okay. We are honored to be here tonight to open our school board meeting with the pledge, and I am so happy to bring Alana Broomfield to help us with the pledge today. Alana has been an incredible example to other students in our building. She not only participates in Girl Scouts and dance, and I just learned that she also took on gymnastics, even though she broke her toe doing it recently. But she's just taken on some gymnastics as well. But she's an incredible advocate in our building, and she ensures that everything that she does is a great friend and a great leader. And last week, or a couple weeks ago, she wrote an incredible essay to really enjoying that opportunity. So we'd like to invite Alana up to the front here to guide us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, hold on.
All right, that was great, Alana. Thank you. Next on the agenda is to adopt the agenda.
Mr. President, I move that we adopt the agenda as presented.
Motion's been made and seconded to adopt the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is recognitions and presentations.
Nothing tonight.
Nothing tonight. Reports.
Nothing tonight.
Next on the agenda would be public comments regarding agenda items. We have one person signed up tonight, Bill Collins. Come on up, Bill. Give us your 3 minutes and tell us where you're from and your address and let it rip.
3865 New Battle Lane, Bargersville. So here we are again with our community in turmoil due to the ineptitude and lack of leadership of this board. Our teachers, after giving their all teaching our students, are here protesting for fair pay and benefits after voting down the laughable proposed contract 91-16. Meanwhile, in a few minutes, Scott and Jack will vote to siphon half the funds from the education fund, the same fund used to pay our teachers. All the while, Scott and Jack are hoping the public will have forgotten about the second reading and imminent passage of the 150 pages of policy changes, the topic I signed up to speak about. Almost leads one to wonder if the whole teacher contract fiasco is just a bad faith political ploy to distract the community from other issues at hand, like the CDC adding COVID vaccines to the recommended vaccine list for school-age children. Do we really think anyone on this board will stand against forced vaccines? They didn't stand against mask mandates or quarantines, even though the governor specifically gave them the authority to do so. Maybe some of you will remember the Stretch Armstrong toy from the 90s. This is what all of you on the board are doing to us, the parents, our students, our teachers, and our community as a whole. Every single one of you should be ashamed. When will it stop? When will you start listening to all of us, even the teachers that are here with their signs, and start mending fences? Haven't you made a big enough mess here? I hope the voters are paying attention. You all should be ashamed.
Next on the agenda items is consent agenda items.
Mr. President, I move that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
I second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the consent agenda items as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
8.1, action item.
Thank you, Mr. Hubbard. Thank you, Mr. Hubbard. Okay, this evening, I'm recommending that the board approve the 2023 budgets for all funds, and this evening, Mr. Taylor will provide you with some additional information.
Thank you, Dr. Arkanoff. The 2023 budget was presented to the board during the regular meeting scheduled on September 22nd, 2022. At this time, we have no changes being made to that budget. Tonight is just the official approval following the hearing that was held in September. This meeting's been appropriately advertised accordingly, and there are about 5 or 6 very routine in nature resolutions that the board will sign after the meeting. And this will be turned into the DLGF and published tomorrow. And it completes the 2023 budget process.
Any comments from the board?
Any board member comments?
Need a motion?
I do have a statement that the Center Grove School Board of Trustees has asked me to read. We support and have the utmost respect for the teachers, staff, and administrators of Center Grove Community School Corporation. We acknowledge the unique circumstances and challenges the employees of the school corporation have faced over the last several years. We also recognize that there are additional challenges ahead as we navigate into the future. Last year, we were able to provide our teaching staff with a historic 8% average pay increase, along with a 7% pay increase for other employees of the school corporation. Last month, we approved a pay increase for 5.65% for our support staff. We also presented an offer to our teachers, which includes a 5.65% average pay increase. We appreciate the hard work and dedication of our teachers and all employees of Center Grove Schools. Thank you.
Any other comments?
Only other comment I'll make, and sorry we didn't catch this sooner, on the resolutions on this, there is a typo on the header on Center Grove Community School Corporation.
Probably been there for a few years.
It probably has, but,
We'll get that corrected before you sign
Sign
this
it.
evening.
because this is the document we signed.
We just need a motion.
Thank you for catching that, Mr. Alexander.
I think this is counted.
Oh,
We'll need a motion, if no other comments.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the 2023 budget for all funds as presented, along with the following resolutions. Resolution to adopt the 2023 Capital Projects Fund Plan. Resolution to adopt the 2023 Bus Replacement Plan. Resolution for appropriations and tax rates. Resolutions for blanket appropriation modification. And resolution to transfer amount from the Ed Fund to the Ops Fund.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
8.2,
Thank you, Mr. Hubbard. This evening, I'm recommending that the board adopt a resolution authorizing transfer from Education Fund to Operation Fund, and Mr. Taylor will provide you with some additional information.
thank you again. This is a routine resolution that we do every year about this time. We have given the support staff, as mentioned, a 5.65% raise and added a few custodial positions. These raises are largely funded by additional dollars to come through to us through the federal fund, or through the funding formula money in the education fund. And because we have support staff in the operations fund, again, such as our custodians and our bus drivers, we need to transfer some of that formula money to the operations fund to pay these salary increases. This resolution accomplishes this transfer for the months of October, November, and December. The amount in total is $450,000, and that is in line with the transfer amount the board approved last year. It's a consistent funding level that was already in the budget. This is new money and has to be appropriated to be spent and transferred as much. And that's what these resolutions will accomplish.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the resolution to transfer an additional amount of $450,000 from the Ed Fund to the Ops Fund.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is 8.3.
Thank you. This evening, to the right spot here. This evening, I'm recommending that the board approve resolutions approving the issuance of bonds and additional appropriations for the bonds. Mr. Taylor will provide you with some additional information. Well, actually, I'm sorry, we'll go to the hearing first, yeah.
Yeah, hold
So
on.
we'll definitely turn this over to you. I apologize. There we go.
So I now open this public hearing. I would like to call Mr. Taylor to make his presentation about the projects, the financing of the projects, and the actions we are taking this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Hubbard. Again, one of those routine tasks. Something we've done since 2009 to help our education and operations fund is that we've purchased technology and maintenance equipment out of GO bonds. We've done this for every year since 2009, including now asking for it in 2022 for 2023. The amount is not to exceed $5.815 million. This is money that has to be spent on equipment. Technology does fall under that. If Ms. Howard would scroll down just a little bit to page 2 for me, you can kind of see some of the projects that this will fund. These were presented during the hearing in September. Again, you can see the columns to the right are what we're able to fund from this money. There are no salaries or benefits in this area. This is all equipment-related cost or supportive equipment. The tax impact for this has been calculated in and is included in the tax rate that was advertised to remain flat from 2021 at a rate of 1.024 cents per $100. And the very last slide kind of shows where that tax rate falls in relationship to the other school corporations. Keep going for me, Tracy, just one more. And other school corporations throughout the county. And this, again, is money paid by our property tax owners in the White River Township area. We fall right in the middle for the county. We do not have the tax rates that Franklin and Port Pleasant have in this area. Again, this has been appropriately advertised. It is a hearing and appropriation, not only authorizing us to sell these bonds, but then to spend the money on the items listed on the slides above. And that's all the remarks I had this evening, Mr. Hubbard.
Okay, thank you. This is the appropriate time for members of the public to make any comments on the 1028 hearing, or anybody here that would like to comment on the 1028? Okay, I now close this public hearing. Are there any board members here that would like to comment or questions?
I asked all my questions last month.
If there's no questions, then we'll need a motion.
Mr. President, I move to approve the resolutions approving the issuance of bonds and additional appropriations for the bonds.
Thank you very much. The motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
8.4, Dr. Arkanoff?
Thank you, Mr. Hubbard. This evening, I'm recommending that the board approve the support staff handbook. And again, Mr. Taylor will share with you some additional information.
Yeah, and I've got some help on this one. Dr. Nelson's going to present on the changes for the sports staff handbook for us.
Fantastic.
Yep, okay. Yes, we're bringing to you tonight recommendation of the approval of the 2022-2023 support staff handbook. Not a whole lot of changes this year, just a few. One of them being the implementation of employees wearing their ID badge and specifically the Centegic safety badge. That would be the addition of that into the staff handbook. The other one is the family medical leave policy and guidelines, changing that to match the federal guidelines. This now means there's an illness, injury, impairment, or physical or mental condition that involves inpatient care or continuing treatment by a healthcare provider. And again, that does match the federal guidelines. Funeral leave for support staff we removed other and now includes relatives and close friends. For personal and sick leave, we know that the mental health of our staff is very important. And so one of the reasons to use a sick day can now be tagged under a mental health day. So there's an addition of that to the language in the personal and sick leave. Our experience incentive, the change in that is that our staff can receive that stipend and receive full year of service credit if they are in active employment here in Center Grove. A couple changes to the tech certification program requirements for that reimbursement. And then the last two, we do have a change in where our workman's comp location is located. And so that did change in the related injury and illness prevention, and then where benefits are available. So not many changes. Most was with federal guidelines or changes that we have within our organization.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the support staff handbook as presented.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? Motion passes. 8.5.
Thank you. Thank you. This evening, I'm recommending that the board approve the proposed policy revisions. This will be the second reading. So we're available for any additional questions, but you read these policies last week in the first reading. So if there aren't any additional questions, all we need is a motion.
I'd like to make a clarification on something that was made during public comment. There was no approval at the last board meeting because you don't approve the first reading of the policy. And after the first reading of the policies, all of the proposed changes were posted to the website for everybody to review. And I didn't receive any additional comments about the policy changes. I don't know if any of the other board members did or not.
I did not.
No, that's correct.
Okay. Then I move that we approve the policy revisions as presented.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Next on the agenda is announcements.
Two
Dr. Arkanoff?
announcements, yes, two announcements. November 17th is the next regularly scheduled board meeting, which will be at 7 PM here in this boardroom. And then also, November 17th is an executive session at 6 PM here in this building as well. And at this point, I think those are the only announcements we have. And with that, I think it's up to board and superintendent comments. I don't have anything this evening.
I don't have anything this evening.
I don't have anything this evening.
I have one. I know that the Education Foundation is hosting their first bingo on Wednesday, October 26th. So I know that Jen Rico has tickets on sale if anybody would like to attend that event for the Education Foundation.
Okay, thank you. I do have one thing I'd like to announce. I'm going to resign my position as a Center Grove School Board member effective today. I am moving into another home in Greenwood that is outside the current Center Grove School Board District. I would like to share that I enjoyed serving this community, fellow parents, and the students of Center Grove as a school board member. Center Grove and our schools were presented with some very unprecedented challenges while I've been on this board, and I'm proud of how the school board and Center Grove kept moving things forward during the COVID. Providing students with a principled and safe learning environment to reach their greatest potential is always my top priority. I personally focus on listening and being proactive to parents, students, and educators. I want to thank the Center Grove community for giving me the opportunity to represent them. I take a lot of pride in giving back to this community where I live. I learned a sense of service while I was serving my country in the United States Air Force, and I've always tried to give back in some way, whether it's through my business that helps local veterans here locally, donating to the free and reduced lunch program, or serving on this school board. I'm also extremely proud of the work I did for Central 9 on behalf of Center Grove as their current board president as well. I look forward to continuing to be involved in Greenwood and Johnson County in the years to come. That's it.